We're getting ready to do a little art class. You want to join us? Waiting for some kiddos or some families, and there's Michelle. Oh. Okay, we're just getting all situated here. I have Jilly helping me. I have Noah's gonna help me. Hi, Michelle. Are your little ones with you? So we're gonna just, if you're following along, you're welcome to. We're gonna be working on, we're gonna do a collage today. Hello, Christine. So I'm gonna do mine in one medium, and Jilly's gonna do hers in another one, so that kind of have some variety. Who knows what everybody has at home. Oh, good. They're with you. Cool. I was going to give it a couple more minutes, so.
Should we show what we're using, Mama?
In a minute, baby. Oh, you work at Sonoma? That's awesome. That's cool. Well, welcome, Grace. If you're gonna be joining us and following along, we are gonna start with some watercolor paper, but if you have cardstock or something, that works. And then also some lighter paper because it's easier to cut, but I'll talk more about that. Oh, we need scissors. You're gonna need to go out and get some, please.
Okay.
2 pair.
2 pairs?
Yep. This is why we start early. Hi, Steph. Auntie Steph's watching, guys. Say hi to Auntie Steph.
Hi, Auntie
Hello.
Steph.
And Chelsea.
I can't see comments.
Okay, let me see the computer. He's going to help me with comments just because I had such an amazing response. I don't know why you can't see comments on the computer. Let's see. Okay, well, you know what? Yeah. We can do that. We can figure it out because I will let him I don't know. It's so funny. I can see him on my phone, but not on my computer because we're still learning this. So thanks. Oh, Miss Thomas is here, guys.
Oh, hi, Miss Thomas.
This is fun. Okay.
Our scissors are extinct.
No, they're not. There's some out in the studio in the garage, in a jar. It doesn't matter. Scissors are scissors. Okay. So, welcome. All right. So today, Jilly's hunting for some scissors because we're still figuring out this whole prep stuff. And I'm going to try to keep up with comments because for some reason, Noah's not able to see them. I don't know.
It's only because you're live.
Any techie people out there want to help me out? Help a girl out? All right.
I don't think actual people watching can see the comments. Only
they can. They can. Okay. It's fine. All right, so anyway, for those that are new here that don't know me, I'm Christy Barron, and I own Joyful Art Studio, and I currently teach locally here in Northern California to homeschoolers and to after-school kids, and I love it. I just love to share creativity and art, and here we don't have a lot of art in the school system, so I love to be able to provide that a little bit. And so, like most of our country, my kids are home for a very long time. But that's okay. We're making the best of it, and we thought we would share some art projects with you guys to give you something to do a few times a week. And so today, what are we going to do? Actually, this idea, because Miss Christie's just winging it, Jilly had a good idea and wanted to do a collage. So she wanted to do a floral collage. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a background, and I'm just kind of briefly telling you that. And you kind of can just do it how you want. She wanted to use watercolors, and if you were with me yesterday or saw me yesterday, we made these beautiful watercolors out of food coloring. And then I did a little tester sheet. So this was our food coloring sample, which I think turned out pretty awesome. What do you think, guys? And then these were the Crayola ones, which you can even find in your grocery stores sometimes. And then these were my Artist Loft ones. So good old-fashioned Crayola. Good old $5 at Michael's. So any of those. And if you don't have paints, that's okay too. I'm not going to use paints for mine, so you guys can kind of see what I would do. I'm going to use, what should I use?
You Prismacolor?
I can use color pencils or markers, but the first thing we're going to use is a Sharpie. So we need to make a flower pot. Okay, so we're going to first do that, Jilly, with this. And I'm going to, so if you would like a symmetrical flower pot, meaning both sides are exactly the same, I'm going to fold my paper in half. And this is just some sulfite construction paper. You could be using cardstock. You could even be using copy paper. Whatever you've got. Remember, we're just being resourceful. And then with a pencil, we are going to draw a pot. So our final page is going to be this big, and we want our pot to be nice and large because we want it to fill up the space, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come up halfway on my piece of folded paper, and you can see my fingers on that fold. So this is going to be the center of my pot, and then my pot's going to come out. So I'm going to start out with a rectangle, and see how I almost came to the edge? We want a nice big full pot. We're going to do a big old pot full of flowers. And then I'm just going to come down and in. So see that? Down and in. And I only have about one finger here, maybe 2 fingers here. I like to use my fingers for measuring, so I make sure I'm filling up my art space, okay? And then get your scissors. Shoes. Jilly thinks I have little fingers.
Those are the other ones I saw.
That's okay. I make it work. And I'm cutting out.
We're going to have wide pots.
Like that. And then, if you did it on the fold, you have a symmetrical pot. Both sides are exactly the same. If you want, you could take this line all the way across and join that little nook right here. See that? So now I have a lot of pots have that band there. Okay? And then I'm just going to take my finger and push out my little fold. It won't matter. Our flowers are going to be so big and beautiful. They're going to distract the viewer from our pot. Okay? And so you could color this, or you could... Are you going to paint yours?
Yes.
Jilly wants to paint with watercolors. She's going to give me the coloring job. I think I'll go ahead and use marker, or I'll use markers today. No, I'll use crayons. I'm trying to think of what everybody might have. So here we go. All right, these are my crayons. They've been wanting to get used anyway. So I'm going to think about this being a terracotta pot. So I'm going to use this kind of terracotta color, kind of a brownish red.
Paper.
Your testing paper?
With the... all the...
Oh, she's wanting... So a little tip about when we make these, she's asking for this. So what she can do is... I kind of keep these. I even keep these for my artist watercolors. I make a swatch and I keep it with my watercolors. That way, when I'm going to use them, because if you've ever noticed that watercolors, no matter the brand, sometimes they're really dark, even though they go on the page light. So this, if you have a little scrap piece of paper and you kind of make a little list of what you've got, then you have a resource before you dip in the water. And if you only did like your primaries, maybe make a little piece of paper, paint it with the color, and then set the little cup. If you have like a cup of blue, a cup of red, a cup of yellow, paint under there so the kids know what color it is before they go dipping. If you made food coloring or you have liquid watercolors, whatever. So here's her little thing she's wanting. All right.
But are those the same colors as mine?
These were made with mine. Well, you didn't make a swatch. She didn't make a swatch of hers. I did. You did? In order? Will you understand how you...
No.
Okay, we're having a little conference here. Here is your... Oh, she did make one. See? So this was Jilly's when she filled her ice cube trays yesterday. Okay? So there's your swatch. So she's probably going to want to make a brown. How do you make brown?
Purple and yellow?
Purple and yellow. Complementary colors, folks. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly, and you notice when I'm coloring, I'm going in the same direction. Just a little craftsmanship. I'm not scribbling all over the place. I'm going to fill this with this brown quickly. And so this is one of the beautiful things about doing a class on the internet is that you don't necessarily have to be working along with me. Maybe you're saving it and watching it as a replay later. If you're watching it as a replay later, I would love for you to shoot a comment down below and tell me. And I'm going at an angle, no particular reason, just to keep my strokes going the same way. It just looks nice and neat.
Should I just make the brown on the paper?
You could, or you could use the lid from the Crayola for a palette.
Oh my.
It's okay, it's fun. It's okay, maybe your pot doesn't have to be brown. I love that she's experimenting with her food coloring. And then on one side I'm just gonna, so see I've colored my whole thing one color. And then I'm going to go to one side and go the opposite way. And that's going to give me a little bit of a shadow. And that also will help with giving it some form and some shape. Okay? I'm just going to kind of blend that in. So see, one side's a little bit darker. And of course, moms or families with little ones, we are going for process over product. So do not, the process is just as important in learning, especially with younger ones. Just getting to experience the art supplies. They're going to learn through making, just by making. So we don't need to be so concerned about what they're doing, because even though it seems like they might be scribbling or, you know, cutting all kinds of stuff, or maybe their flowers, you know, they've turned them into little dragons hanging on a stick or unicorns, it's still art, and they are still learning by doing. And let them mix those colors. You know, that watercolor exercise from yesterday is a great one for little ones, because they might make a bunch of beautiful brown, and that's okay. That's how they learn. The next time they might make a beautiful purple, and then that is when the magic happens. So, anyway, okay. So I just have a simple little pot using simple, what are these? Crayons. And you could use oil pastels. Those work too. And so I'm going to kind of just set it there. So see how big our pot is? It's taking up the space, which is something we want to think about. We don't want a little tiny pot sitting in the middle of our piece of work. I kind of did mine kind of big, but that's okay. We're going to just work with it. Okay? Jilly's doing... So she's using sulfite paper to paint her watercolor pot. And so you can see it's a little bit... it's really soaking it up, and it's not ideal, but that's okay. We're just doing to do. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to have another piece while she's doing that. And now we're going to draw some flowers. So this is going to be... So there's a couple different ways we can do that. For my older kiddos, it might be fun to do some designs.
In this one?
Yeah, kind of like, I'm thinking like these types of things. So, and how I would go about doing that, I'm using I'm going to use that sulfite type paper. And I like that because I don't want to use a super heavy paper because that makes it super hard to... Hi, Robin. Hello, Chelsea and Julie.
Look how bright the yellow is.
It is bright. She's making a beautiful yellow pot. It's easier to cut. This is a great exercise for all the kids. So I'm going to draw with my Sharpie because I like the boldness, the emphasis it gives. If they're a little hesitant, you could do this with pencil first and then go over it with Sharpie. So for some of these flowers, I'm just going to start with a circle in the middle. I'm thinking, you guys, can you see well? Okay, I just moved my comments so I can kind of see what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's right in the
I'm
middle.
doing a circle, and then I might just do another circle outside of that. And then, and this Sharpie is no good. Welcome to my life. It's real life, people, real life.
Where's my paper?
What kind?
The cardstock thing that I put my pot on.
Oh, your watercolor paper is right here. All right, so now I might go in with a little,
How did you put
and these
it
are,
on? Like this?
I just laid it on there. I didn't glue it yet. You might want to paint your background, or are you just going to do it on white?
I don't know.
It's her project. She hasn't decided yet. So there's her pot. And I'm going to, what kind of flowers are you going to do?
I'll do like daisies.
Okay. Do you want this kind of paper, or do you want to cut heavier paper?
I'll do the same paper as this.
Okay. All right. Pause over. Okay, so here we go. And then maybe I'll bring out some petals. Now these are not, of course, realistic flowers. These are just imaginative, very illustrative style. When I say illustrative, you know, things you might see in books or graphics.
Graphic novel.
And this one's going to be a pretty big flower because he's growing as I'm drawing, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to do, so when doing a flower bouquet, maybe I want some dots in here. And this really is, this would be more for the older set. What's another shape we can do? Let's do some,
Your heart-shaped flowers.
I'm just going to do some, kind of looking at my sample. So I'm going to draw 3 bigger flowers that are the same. That are going to go in my pot. So I've got these 2. And let's do one more type. Let's do a circle. And you can see I'm not, I'm going to cut these out. So, and then I'll come out, maybe do a big circle. I'm a big fan of collage. I feel like it's one way to incorporate different mediums. And for my little ones, it gives them some scissor practice, which they, of course, don't enjoy as much, but it's so good for their fine motor. And then it also gives them just some, it usually gives them, the collage, you know, some opportunity to experiment with line and drawing. And then it also gives, you know, you got to think about space and things like that. All those art things you kind of think about as you're doing a piece of art. Those are lovely. Now just remember, you're going to be cutting them out. So you want to remember, this is a good example. So thinking bold and big and easy. So these would be good ones for my older kids. For my little ones, this is another good way to do symmetry. So maybe I fold a little part of my paper, right? And then I come in and do something like this, or maybe it's got half a flower. Okay, so maybe here's some symmetrical ones, and then just simple shapes. This one's a little more detailed, but you get the idea. Right, guys? You don't know until you try it. Maybe you can cut this out. Can they see the project pretty well, buddy?
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Julie. Robin Hunt says your pot is beautiful.
Who?
Robin Hunt.
Oh, Miss Robin. We love Miss
Robin.
Miss Robin is here local, and she takes on a lot of my adult workshops, but what's awesome is she even sometimes comes to the kids ones too, because she just loves to learn about art and the things we do. I move my comments away, so Noah's gonna tell me if you guys say something. This way I can make sure. Oh, here's a funny flower. Look at this one. Oh, it actually looks like a gingerbread man flower, but I'm good with that. And then maybe I'll come around and give it its outline on the other side. This is a great lesson in symmetry for the little people. Because part of it's going to be tucked. Collage, we're going to be overlapping, so it doesn't matter. Okay? I'm going to finish my symmetrical lines. Bringing it all together. Okay? So there's my symmetrical ones. My gingerbread flower. That's how it happens sometimes. And then, so I have 3 big ones, but I want a variety. We want a nice full pot. So we could do some leaves, to fill in some other sizes. Maybe like this. And then what are some other types of leaves? We can do some teardrop type leaves.
Oak leaves, which are pretty.
Oak leaves, yes. But would an oak leaf be in a pot of flowers? Or in a tree?
I mean, it's a leaf, so.
True. You could stuff it in there. That's fine. It's your flower pot. You do it how you like. Whatever your vision is. All right. So then I can cut these out. You can use your Crayola ones on this part. It might be brighter.
I'll do that.
And here, and I'm not even going to worry about doing it perfectly. Otherwise, we might be cutting here all day. That's okay. And I'll show you another way where you don't want to do all this tedious cutting. We can draw some of them in with our crayons, or you could paint some of them in, the stems. This is just to get you going, doing something creative, okay? Just an idea. I hope you use these ideas as a launching board for your own inspiration. Maybe, what other ideas have you thought of now that you've seen us draw these little flowers and leaves and painted our pots in different ways? Maybe you have some scrap paper from newspapers or magazines. You could make flowers out of those and glue them down.
Or little music sheets.
Music is like old music sheets, or even printing those off. Like, that is gorgeous in collage. I love using fonts and music prints in collage. Maybe we'll do some of that. So I just got an email. I just saw it. My little friend Oliver, he is a homeschool student I have. He sent me a little request, and he's really into Snoopy and Peanuts right now. So he wants me to do a project with that, because he's obviously taking a break from art right now because we are in Northern California, and we are my youngest is out of school for at least 2 weeks, and my older two are out for at least 4 weeks. Are you excited about that, Noah?
Yes.
But when school comes back, he's gonna love it, because we have lots of busy plans at home. My house is gonna be the cleanest house in California. We're gonna deep clean by zones, do a little bit every day. My house needs it, because we have been a busy family. So let's think of, okay, I want each of you to think of something you're thankful for being stuck at home. And even though this is not something that we wanted to have happen, there's still things to find thankfulness in, right? So I'm thankful, because otherwise I wouldn't be doing this with my kiddos. So I'm thankful for that. I'm getting to connect with other people all around. Okay, Noah, what are you thankful for?
Oh.
On the spot. That's what happens when you're in Mom's studio.
You're the guy in the chair.
I'm thankful we get time to rest. From stress at school and stuff.
Yes, he's thankful that he gets time to rest from stress in school. He's in high school in 9th grade, so it gets a little tricky in high school. There's a lot going on. He has a big project going on right now, so they're actually postponing that for a while. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit on my background, and I'm going to do it super simple because I'm using crayons today.
Me?
You're still cutting, and then you can do your sample.
No.
Oh, what's she thankful for? I'm sorry, Jilly. Jilly, what are you thankful for? She was all ready and everything. I was excited to do art. I was going to glue everything together.
I'm thankful that we can. I'm thankful that we can do this, and that we can all do art together.
Yep. Because we love art. My family, my girls are very artistic, and my son is very creative as well. And you are in a very engineering type way.
Robin Hunt wants you to come and clean her house too.
I have 3 children that will love to do that for you, Robin. They're very good at it. They're actually probably be better for you than for me. They would do it with a happy heart for you. Me, it's sometimes a struggle. But
you already glued your
oh, look how cool that turned out. So this was her pot. Look how cool that turned out. She mixed purple and yellow. And this was with the
food
watercolors we made yesterday with the food coloring. I think that's super cool. So she was mixing yellow and purple because she knows that those are complementary colors on the color wheel. So they're opposite, so they complement each other. They look really awesome. They make each other look their best when they're next to each other. But when you mix complementary colors, they blend and make a brown. So if you want to make a beautiful brown, that's a great way to make it if you don't have it, and we didn't make that. But if you don't want to make brown, you don't want to mix them.
Well, I didn't make brown.
Well, you have some muddy colors in there, so it was trying.
I think it looks
Food
cool.
coloring is a little bit trickier, so anyway.
It looks like a rusted yellow clay pot.
That's okay. That's all right. Okay.
Do we have glue sticks?
We have some glue sticks. Here's our little kit that we put together with everybody. So, the one thing I'm going to say, Jilly, and of course you can, no, is I'm going to put my pot a little bit up. See? About a finger or two. I'm not going to set it on the edge. Just visually, it usually looks a little better that way.
Where's the other
And here I am using my glue stick. These are my favorite glue sticks. They say the extreme.
You keep saying glue strips.
I only have one. I do?
Yeah.
Glue strips.
You keep saying glue strips, but it's glue sticks.
Oh, glue sticks. Yes. There we go. This is why I keep them with me. They keep me honest and humble. Yes. Okay. So then I'm going to press it down.
It looks cool.
I like to turn it over, give it a little massage. That will help it stick. Here's my struggle because it's still wet. If it struggles to stick, just wait till it dries. And now, before I go glue and give these guys some color, I'm going to use my crayons and do some background. Are you going to do some background with your paint?
I'm going to use markers.
For your background?
Yes, paint.
She wanted, see? She forgot. She wanted to paint. Can everybody see Jilly's little piece?
Yeah. Good.
Okay. So I'm just going to throw some blues back here. I've got this one blue, and I'm actually going to put patches of this blue, and then if you have two blues, maybe bring in another one. I kind of like to do that like on its side. See that? It covers more area. And I'm not using one blue because I feel like if I use two blues, it's a little more interesting in the background. I probably will come in with a little bit more.
And we have
Maybe I want, ooh, there's a darker blue. I'm gonna come in behind where my flowers might be. That's a, you have a couple, no, you have that blue.
I know, I'm making another one.
Oh, you're making more? So she's making a little blue. She's still using her food coloring paints.
Do we still have that with us, actually?
Yes. The red disappeared. I think we used it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we never hit.
I did.
Oh, you did.
What you doing?
He's my sound and tech guy. Ooh. Add a little bit of, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue on this brown here. Just for some, so see I am.
Ooh, look at this blue, Mama.
Oh, that's a beautiful blue. How did you make that blue?
I did a bunch of blue.
I'm
And
coming
then
in
one
with some
drop of
blue
yellow.
on this brown because it's deepening the shadow area. giving it some form. Form is the giving it shape, making it look a little more realistic. Okay? So see how that pot looks a little bit rounded that way? And so I did leave this blank. Let's see. What do I want to do down here?
More aquamarine. There we go.
Oh, she's making some really pretty colors. You want to show them? So she's also using more than one blue. So she made a blue and then she added a little bit of green to it to make more of a turquoise so that it has variety. It's not one flat color. She'll show us again when we're done. So, what am I going to come in with on the bottom here? Maybe some brown. Well, I will. I'll show them that. I'm going to just put some brown down here, like it's sitting on a table. I'm going to bring it up a little bit.
My paper's warping.
That's okay. I haven't played with crayons in a long time. This is kind of fun. I just wanted to definitely use some simple supplies at first as we build up. What are some projects you guys want to work on? I had some requests for, well, peanuts from Mr. Oliver. I'm going to use more than one brown here. Of course, if I always have my choice, I am a flower gal. I'm going over this with a different brown, just, and then, so see I have a little bit of a table or bench, and then I came up a little bit past the edge of my pot,
Summer's home.
so it doesn't,
Summer's
it's okay if she comes says hi. My oldest just walked in the house, we just heard her. So otherwise it tends to look like it's not quite as dimensional, so I like to bring it up a little bit. And then of course we need a shadow on this table, don't we? So our pot is shadowed on this side, so that tells us our light, our source of light is coming from over here. So I want to think about that as my shadow cast, so I'm going to bring my shadow over here, and a good color for that is purple. So I'm going to come in down here where my shadow would be.
This is mine.
Very nice. She's got some cool blooming. Yeah, we can talk about little tricks with the warping later. Right now we're just starting off. You know, we could get into all kinds of detail, and I just want people to be creating. So, see how I'm coming in with that purple, and see how that's darkening? It's a good shadow color. So a good shadow color would be purple, maybe even some dark blue. Okay. Dark blue. Maybe I want to come in here too and make it darker because it's casting a shadow behind it.
Gonna make brown.
So see how you can still work on form and shape and shadow and lighting when you are using crayons and paper.
This reminds me of the painting.
This could easily be done on cardstock or regular paper. And the one cool thing, so all these videos, I know I'm doing them live, but they are going to be saved on my page. So for those that can't watch now, they could watch later. And you have the benefit of the pause button. So you could pause, finish that part, because Jillian and I do a lot of art, so we know we're faster and work through things a lot quicker. So that's what's beautiful about the pause button. So now we need to just add our florals, don't we? So sometimes you could color these if you want. I think I might leave mine. I kind of like the black and white illustrative quality of them. So I didn't do really any stems.
Do you have a paper towel?
I'm gonna tuck my gingerbread flower down in here. And actually, if you turn it over, it looks a bit like a iris.
Do you have a paper towel?
I do. So I'm gonna tuck him in here. So, and you can see as I'm building this, do I have all of them? Yeah. I am overlapping. If I put them all like this, that doesn't so much look like a nice stuffed bouquet of flowers. When you look at a bouquet of flowers or even flowers growing out of a pot in the ground, there's a lot of overlapping happening. So I want to overlap them.
I'm gonna set this aside to dry.
And another thing I'm thinking about is I want to even let these go off the page a little bit. It adds more texture, and visually it also gives the viewer the idea that, ooh, what's happening off this page here? And I'm also arranging these. You notice I'm putting no glue on yet. I am just arranging these to decide where I might want them first, and make sure that everything is nice and balanced, which we'll kind of talk about that in a second. So these are all just things. Did she say something? Sorry. Okay. So see, when I'm thinking about this, I have all these little ones. I made sure I had a big one up here, big one here, big one here. I didn't put them all together. And then I also have these leaves. I didn't clump them over here. I made sure there were leaves in each bit and piece. See that? So I'm also, this guy's bothering me because he has no lines. So I'm gonna give him some sort of a line. So he kind of matches our illustrative quality. You could look up patterns and designs online, and that would give a great idea. Even like Zentangles, you could Zentangle these. That would be super fun, and it's a great idea of looking at different patterns and lines and how they come together to make
I'm gonna paint mine.
different values and stuff. So anyway, there, I feel better about that. Okay, so now he was just super white and all the others have details. That's why I added more line to this guy. So now I'm going to glue him down. How are you doing over here? Jilly is painting her flowers very loosely, which I love. Okay. And I'm just putting some glue on the back of these, so I kind of like when the whole thing isn't glued and the edges curl up a little bit. They have a nice, gives it more texture. Didn't want to stick to that as much. As it dries, it will. Because of the wax and the crayons, it's being a little silly.
It isn't showing that as orange.
Well, it's just not as vibrant as the other paints that you're used to using all the time, and that's okay. It's giving a more muted, soft look, painterly look. And I like it. Good job. And you're also painting on that sulfite construction paper, so it's just going to be a different effect than you're used to. She's a bit spoiled with access to quality art supplies, so this is a good practice in seeing what happens when you just use what you've got and that you can still make art. I did, I don't know if you guys noticed, I put online, when I first posted, I put a list of my basic art supplies. It looked, was it over there?
There was a big brush.
I think it's right here. On the zone list is this studio, so that we can be more efficient. I don't like that. Oh, he's not even glued.
This?
No. Was was the one I printed out?
This is all Facebook.
Okay, anyway. I made you guys a list of my basic art supplies. And I'm going to put a little leaf in here. That also, if you look in so you find the basic art supply list, and then in the comments there are links to Amazon. If you have access to that and you're interested in purchasing them, I put, inexpensive ones that I like that are easily accessible, whether at the grocery store or on Amazon. And just know I get no kickback from them. This is all just things I like. You can use Amazon Smile and instead of just regular Amazon and have it go to your favorite charity, which ours goes to our kids' school, which I think almost all schools are using that now. So that's a great way if you have kids or grandkids that could benefit from donation. What school couldn't? All schools need it, right? And so here we go. My little illustrative flowers with basic supplies. We use what? Sharpie? Crayons. That's all I used on mine.
Can you color the middle of the blank one still?
If you wanted to add color, like with
or just
color,
put more lines, just blank.
he thinks it's too plain. Right here?
No. The middle one, it's blank and it looks weird.
This one?
Gingerbread
Yeah.
Oh. They're giving me some constructive criticism, and they like critiquing. Criticism is not the word. They're giving me constructive critique, and they don't care for this white space in here. And they would like me to add more lines, which I will do.
Will do.
Because it's visually distracting. And so, just since they brought it up, the reason that is happening, that's visually distracting, is because it was different. So these all have lines that fill their shapes and their flowers, but that one had white space. So since it was a little bit different and didn't have the same qualities of line, then it was very obvious to the viewer, which was a good tip. Things like that bother my boy. He has a very artistic eye. So, how are you doing? Jilly's gluing hers down. She's almost done. So what, are we getting any comments?
Well, not really.
Not really?
Robin Hunt agrees with me.
She just, oh, Robin. Anyway, no comment. She always sides with my kids. She likes to give me a hard time. So, tomorrow, I'm not sure when we'll come on next. We'll definitely come on by Wednesday. And are there any adults? For my adults, there was a gal, there's an artist on Instagram, Priscilla George, who I really love, and she put up a challenge for like a creativity boost. So I did post those pictures on the picture of the creativity challenge. So how that works is it said March 16th through another date, and every day there's a different creativity challenge, and this would be something super fun to do with your kids as well. And it can be anything, like maybe you want to do a piece of art inspired by, he's having a dance over here. He's trying to fix something. He's taking his tech job very seriously. So
we hire the best.
Every day there's a different post, and it would say, like, I think today was your favorite thing. So that could be, you could make a piece of art over it. Maybe you want to do a poem. Maybe you want to play charades with those favorite things with your family. Or maybe write a song. You want to write a song, Noah?
Not really.
He's also very musical. He's our musical kid. He plays the French horn. It's beautiful. So those are a great thing to incorporate into your family, or maybe I'll go online at night. I don't know. I have so much time right now. I'm getting excited with myself. Or I'll at least post what I did. So we could do something for the adults maybe once in a while. Do the adults need something to do? Give me a thumbs up if you needed something to do. That's just for you. Maybe after the kids go to bed. Nope, no thumbs up.
What?
Anyway. All right. Are you almost done? Oh, she's painting in some lines for her flowers. She's got a more open flower bouquet.
But I want to add like...
Talk louder so they can hear
I
you.
want to add like little like...
Oh, you want to add some more fuzzy blossoms in the back?
Yeah.
She's wanting to add more patches of color in the background. So the ones that are close are more detailed, and then the ones that are in the background are just some ideas of color back there. I see where you're going with that. I like it. And she's even glued those down, and she's laying some paint on top once she did that, and that's fine too. Like even this, if I came back tomorrow and felt like I needed to add some color to these, I could easily incorporate color into those flowers with paint, with pastels, with crayons, with colored pencils. Okay? You want to show everybody?
Say,
Well, I will do it so it doesn't run.
well, it's still puddling.
It's okay. So, watercolor bouquet using homemade watercolors from our food coloring. Flower bouquet using crayons and Sharpie. That's it. Okay? So, thanks for joining us. Feel free to share. Maybe we'll do some painting with either watercolor or acrylic tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll figure out something. It's also, isn't it Earth Day coming up? I think Earth Day's coming up. Maybe we need to do some Earth Day projects.
We could, I'm not sure if this is related to Earth Day, but we could make little
April 22nd.
pipe cleaner worms.
Oh. Pipe cleaner worms.
I mean,
You could, Jilly's gonna do her own show. And you're gonna make pipe cleaner worms.
April 22nd. So
April 22nd
so.
is Earth Day. So, hey, we've got 2 to 4 weeks at home. We can do all kinds of stuff. So, anyway, thanks again for joining us. Give it a share. If you're rewatching this, you can drop it below for a replay. I'll post our little pictures online. Right side up, of course. And then, thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye.